What is up, everybody? My name is Tonny and I'm here with another Warframe guide video. In this video we will be looking at the Octavia Prime or the Umbra Octavia Prime because it has Umbra mods on that. Now when it comes to using Octavia, obviously she's all about the nuke or the DPS part. She can also support her teammates with buffs as well as doing some invisibility if you guys, well, crouch on her little metronome thing. We'll go over all of that and how she works later on. I just want to say that I have 4 builds for you guys though. Now the first 2 builds is basically a budget build or somewhat a budget build where you guys only need to format your Warframe twice. The first build is pretty much self-explanatory, as you guys can see here with the mods here as well as the demonstration here. Now keep in mind that I do not have these builds no more because I do have 4 or 3 formas on my Octavia and they kind of ruin the builds that I'm showing you guys right now. The second build here showcases the adaptation part of Octavia. If you guys don't want to use the overextended, you guys can put in adaptation or you guys can put in the vitality or Umbra vitality if you guys want to. It's up to you guys, but she doesn't really need those type of mods because she does have invisibility as well as the mallet. Alright, so those are the first 2 builds that I show you guys. Budget builds or somewhat cheaper builds than what I have for you guys, which is 3 formas, or yeah, 3 formas. So this one's a little bit more of an upgrade sort of, except that of course it has negative more or less range than my first 2 builds, but this is just straight up a high duration, high strength, basically a good amount of range here. Now when it comes to using range on Octavia, you guys don't really need that much range, but it depends on your playstyle as well as the tileset or the map or the mission type basically. So these are the mods I have here with the Augur Reach here, Blind Rage, Narrow-Minded, Overextended. That's pretty much cancels out a little bit on these 2, but might as well because I want that duration and range for the nuke and the AoE effect. I do have the Arcanes here for Energize and Guardian. You guys should have rank 5s Arcanes now because of the recent operation. Corrosive Projection here and Power Drift. You guys can swap this out for Energy Siphon or Steel Charge if you guys are planning to use melee weapons, or you guys could swap out for Pistol Amp or Rifle Amp or Sniper Amp, whatever you guys are using for the metronome. So let's take a look at the second build. Okay, so this is the hybrid build of Octavia, and when it comes to using hybrid abilities on your Warframe or Octavia, you guys don't really need to. Her Resonator is actually pretty good enough, so you guys don't really need to replace anything to make her much stronger or more effective. But for those that want to have a different playstyle, this is a different playstyle. This is more of an active playstyle because usually Octavia is all about just standing still and spamming her abilities. This one you do need to cast your Rest and Rage a lot to do some more damage because it does work with Mallet. It does give that double damage somewhat to Mallet as well as, well, Amp and Metronome. So it does help with the Amp a little bit to give you the little beats, I would say, or the increase of the Amp, as well as spamming your Inspiration. Now the Inspiration buff, for people who don't know, it gives you energy per second, so 1 energy per second for up to 30 seconds. So if you guys spam Rest and Rage, you basically keep getting energy no matter what. So that's actually not bad. For this last mod slot here, I did replace Augur Reach with this. As you guys can see, everything else is the same. Now you guys can replace or modify the mods here I show you guys, but when it comes to this last mod slot, there's 3 mods you guys can put on here. Streamline for the efficiency, Partition Mallet for more choke points, and Calm and Frenzy for those that wants to do less spamming of Rest and Rage, but otherwise you guys don't really need to have this unless you guys really want this. You guys can also put Augur Message here or any other Augur set mods. Alright, so before we even look at the demonstration of my builds, let's take a look at how Octavia works. Now, we'll be looking at the mallet first, and that is the little ball thing here. So basically what it does is if enemies shoot at this thing, this absorbs the damage, and at the same time it deals damage to enemies that's nearby or inside this radius. Alright, so the next one would be the Resonator. Basically all it does is just spin around, does 2 damage to enemies or 1 damage to enemies. So not really special about it. It does charm enemies or nearby enemies, so that's actually pretty good. So it does follow it. Very good for meat shield or somewhat. Amp is self-explanatory. You guys straight up just go on here, shoots or melee or whatever, or place your abilities here, and straight up you increase the amp, and then straight up you'll get more buffs on the, well, damage of your guns. That's basically what it is mostly for, just damage on your guns. Also, you guys can actually place down your mallet to increase the radius. So notice how it's pretty big right now. Alright, so next will be the metronome. Now for those that don't know, Vivace, if I say the name right, basically it's just movement speed, so you guys don't have to do this, but in order for you guys to get the buff, you guys have to jump right on the beat. For Opera, all you gotta do is just shoot, and every time you guys shoot right on the beat, you get that multi-shot bonus, which is pretty nice. And for Forte, same thing, just melee right on the beat. Now for the invisibility part, all you gotta do is just crouch, and just every time you guys crouch, you get to nail the thing. Now I'm missing a whole bunch of these, but just keep crouching. You guys can spam if you guys want, but it's pretty much dumb if you guys spam it. Just so you just crouch right on the beat and you guys become invisible, shoot on the beat, you guys get the fire rate. Same thing with the melee on the beat as well as jumping on the beat. You guys get the movement speed. Okay, so you guys have seen how Octavia works, but how to make her a nuke Warframe? Well, let's take a look at the abilities real quickly. Alright, so notice that the duration of amp is at 76%, duration of metronome is around 50%, and the rest is also at 50%. So the way this works most of the time is you guys would want to cast your amp first because it lasts longer. After that, you want to cast either your mallet or your resonator or your metronome first. Now make sure that when you guys are casting, these two abilities needs to be cast right after each other. That way the resonator will pick up the mallet and do all kinds of damage. Metronome can be last or first. It depends on what you guys are going to be doing. So let's go ahead and do a quick test on this first build here. I'm going to go ahead and cast my amp first. I'm going to cast my metronome just for the hell of it, and then I'm going to cast the mallet as well as the resonator. Now if you cast your mallet farther away from the resonator, obviously it's not a good idea because you get less nuke potential because it has to go, or the resonator has to go and pick up the mallet first before you can do damage. And that's how quick it does for the damage output. Alright, so here's the hybrid version of the build. Not that effective as the first build. I would say it's a little bit more active, but it's still pretty good enough. So let's go ahead and take a look at the damage output here. Now, let's take a look at the ability real quick as well. So Rest and Rage does that damage vulnerability at 99%, as well as the speed increase at 39%. I do have a day on this. So let's go ahead and cast this like crazy, so you guys can see the damage difference. I'm going to cast only my mallet. And already it's racking up. This is without amp, you guys, and it's already racking up some sort of damage output right there. 3,000 damage per tick, 4,000, like a crap load of damage. Look at that. This is without amp. I'm going to put an amp now. Now I kind of forgot what augment mod I put on this build, but let's just assume it's going to be the Rest and Rage augment. I think it's Rest and Rage. Nope, it's the other one. So that's the partition mallet with the two mallets. So that's actually pretty good for a build. Okay, so you guys have seen what Octavia can do on my builds, but what about the music? Does it have any effect on the abilities? Well, yes, it does, sadly. So when it comes to the beats on the metronome, or the Mandachord actually, you guys don't need to have too many notes on the metronome itself, which is the pink one right here. Just spaced out is fine enough, or just a few notes here and there is good enough as well. But when it comes to the resonator and the mallet, you guys want to spam this like crazy. As you guys can see, I filled up every single slot possible. Now, obviously, there's some spaces here, but you know what? It's not that big of a deal, because when you guys fill out all these spaces, you guys get more ticks on the damage itself. And for those that do not have any music at all on their Octavia, if you guys starting out, I do have a few examples, or 9 or 8 songs for you guys to choose from that I have. Or you guys can look at YouTube and see what other people have made on their Mandachord and choose what songs you guys like. That is it for this video, you guys. Hopefully you guys do enjoy this video. If you guys do, give it a like, subscribe to the Forma channel. Thank you guys for watching. Enjoy the rest of the video. I do have the other demos for Steel Path when it comes to using my builds. as well as the sound I'm using on my Octavia.